Good morning. Good morning. Thanks for joining us today. Welcome to Desert Adventures in Arizona on this fabulous Monday morning. Hope everybody is doing well. Let's see who we have here. Danny D popped in, was the first supporter in here. Good morning, Danny D. Good to see you. Chara Hart is here. Good morning, Char. Good to see you. Saw both of those ladies at Ava Potterfield's live this morning, which is always fun on a Monday morning. Floss is here. Good morning, Floss. Hope you're doing well. Small Town Tourist is here. Good morning. Good morning. The neighbor to the north and Small Town. Did you get any rain last night? We got a little bit of monsoon sprinkle last night, which was nice. So we're seeing the humidity in the clouds start to build up here in southern Arizona, and we get really excited about that. I know a lot of you get rain and a lot of rain. We don't get a whole lot, and the majority of what we get is during the monsoon season, which is getting ready to start. So we're happy about that. KT Spirit is here. Good morning, KT. Good to see you. Oh, it looks like Doug is taking it easy on his day off, and so is Buddy. That's good. Got to have that rest. Working man's got to have that rest. First member in the house, Roy and Becky's Travels. Roy took off to get some water, so he'll be back here in a little bit. KT was up at 2 a.m. this morning. I woke up at 3, which I do just about every morning. And on Monday mornings, when I have my live scheduled, guess what? I start to think about, well, what am I going to talk about today? Well, first thing I have to do is check out Ava Potterfield's live, and she goes on at 6 o'clock Pacific time. So I always catch that on Monday morning. Talca Detector is here. Thank you very much for joining us from Chile. Catherine Cook is here. Good morning. Good morning. Yeah, it's been hot here. It's been 110 to 112 degrees every morning. Very, very warm. But with the low humidity, it hasn't been too bad. Now that we're at 40%, it's going to get sticky and the bugs are going to come out. So let's see what we have here today. What's the weather here in Marana, Arizona today?
The forecast is calling for thunderstorms today.
Whoa, look at that. Chance of rain, 50%, 104 degrees. So what happens here in southern Arizona, once we get that moisture flowing up from Mexico and the heat picks up, then it spawns thunderstorms. And so that's what we hope for. And sometimes a thunderstorm can form right over our heads. But we enjoy it. Hauling water, I'll be back. Scrolling. Joy is here from Smoky Mountains Blessed. Thank you for joining us. Smoky Mountain Blessed does great live streams as they walk around Gatlinburg area, which is a beautiful town. See who else we have here. Look at that. Badge is here. Badge, I'm not asking. Well, good morning, Badge. Got some rain coming, Badge. Naj is here. Good morning, Naj. Howdy. Good to have you. Scrolling. She Devil is here. Good morning, Tommy. Working and listening in the background. Cannot tag. That's okay, Tommy. We got you covered. Appreciate you being here. Danny D is back. The spectacular supporter, absolutely. Scrolling. Make sure I didn't miss it. Oh, Sandy is here. Good morning, Sandy. Thanks for joining us. Hope you're doing well. And then there's Char of Heart. Thank you for watching the commercials. That gives me an extra penny or two. Multitasking, got you on computer, friends hike on TV, and editing on the phone. I hear you. I hear you. I do some of that too. Yeah, still over 100. You got it, Badge. You got it. But it's a nice 100 when it's raining. So what's going on? Don't forget Roy and Becky's Travels will be coming up live here at 11 o'clock Arizona time, Pacific time. So be sure to pop in and say hello. Roy is unsupervised, mostly unsupervised in Quartzsite, Arizona. So anything could happen. Now, when Becky's on there, she kind of supervises them from Indiana, where she's at, but he still gets in some hot water sometimes. So be sure to check out Roy and Becky's Travels. Lily is here. Good morning, Lily. Lily's been making some videos, so be sure to check out her channel. Scrolling. Oh, no nice 100. Oh yeah, 100 is just getting nice. That's when summertime arrives, is when we get the first 100-degree day. Gets down to 80 and we have to put our hoodies on. Yeah, you got that right, Danny. You got that right. He does need to be watched because he puts things like that shouldn't be put in the oven and turn the oven on and it blows things up. You'll have to ask him about that when you pop into his chat. All right, so it's been a busy week or so around here. You know, we live here in southern Arizona, and one of the important things here in the desert is water. We have our own water well that we share with our neighbor friend Karen across the road. We had the water well drilled in 2005. So it's been there, 18 years now? And when we first installed it, it put out 1,500 gallons a day, which is pretty good in 2005. As the years have gone on, the water output, because we have meters on the well, we can see what the water output is. The water output has gone down, continued to go down. So we went from 1,500 gallons a day. Now we can barely make 500 gallons. So we're about 550 to 580 per day, which is not enough. So we talked to Karen, our neighbor, and we decided we needed to have the local water well company come in and assess our well. Again, it's 18 years old, and see if the problem is the water table just low, or is there a problem inside the well casing? So they came out on Friday and they put a camera down the well casing. And so I'm going to show you a couple of pictures of that. So Felipe came out and he has a camera that he can drop down into the well and actually look at the well as it's going down, and also measure the depth of the well. So what I have here, I'm going to do a little video here, and then he pulled the pump out. So let me take that comment off there. I'm going to show you this pulling the pump video right here. Here we go. So you see Felipe's hooked up to the pump pipe. You know, your pump is at the bottom of your well, and there's a couple hundred feet of pipe there, and so he's pulling that all out so that he can put the camera down in there and look around. Now, I wasn't able to get pictures of the, you know, as he was going down the well casing. I'm looking for this photo here. Did I save it? But he went down the well casing, and what we found was here's the well casing after he pulled the pump out. So it's a big hole, right? It's a 6-inch hole that goes down 400 feet. And while I'm taking this picture, I'm thinking, Steve, don't drop your phone. Can you imagine dropping your phone down that hole per plunk? Here's where, after he removed the pump and the pipe, and see that wire there? That wire is what powers the pump. So he's got that all removed. He's coming back today, and we're expecting him to pull in anytime this morning. So what he found was with the camera was that there were the holes that are down in the casing that let the water in. They call them perforations. The perforations were clogged. They actually are clogged with calcium. So we have very hard water here. And the perforations around, there's 4 of them, and in 20-foot sections, and they're all clogged up with and closed up like this. You know, normally they're supposed to be open to let the water in, and with the calcium, they're clogged up. So we hope that that's the problem with the well. We're going to find out. So he's actually bringing some citric acid stuff with him today. He's going to pour that down that well casing, and he's going to run a brush up and down there and hopefully knock down some of that calcium. And then we should be good, hopefully, for another 18 years. Something else we learned is we can drop the well pump lower into the casing because we have 100 feet below where the pump was. So we're going to have him drop the pump lower down towards the bottom of the well casing so that we can pull more water out of it. Anyway, it's a pretty expensive proposition, but water is important. And so we have to spend the money. We have to spend the money. Oh, you're welcome, Joy. You're welcome. Roy is working hard this morning. He's heading back for a water spigot now. There is another member of the channel, Gracie and Jacques Adventures. Good morning. I'll be watching as I make coffee. Thank you, Gracie, for being here. And I saw on Facebook you posted that Jacques' 1-year checkup. Jacques is a beautiful dog that Gracie has. And she took him in for his yearly checkup up there in Oregon. So hopefully everything worked out well. Oh, I remember when a baby fell into an old well casing. Yeah, that's not good. I put a bucket on top of it when they left so that we didn't get any critters that crawled in there. We don't want any critters in there like rabbits or anything like that. Scrolling. So Ron can't tag right now, but he is here. Another project we've been working on is, if you guys watch my videos, you know that we live on 5 acres out here in the Ironwood Forest National Monument, and we keep water out here. We had a water tub that we had for probably 15 years, ground set into the ground about level with the ground so that the animals could pull water out of it when they need it. So we get deer and javelina and, birds, all kinds of critters, foxes, coyotes, of course. And one thing that we experienced, oh, thank you, Naj. Thank you very much. Appreciate the donation. And one thing we experienced was that the young birds that were running around, uh, the babies would fall into the tub, and some of them couldn't get out, and they would drown. So we decided we need to do something about that. So we basically took that tub out and we replaced it with a concrete inset, which I formed up and poured, and that's working pretty good so far. I'm going to work on a video for that, and I'm looking for my thank you. There we go.
Awesome!
Thank you very much, Nosh. Appreciate it. Anyway, we're oh, Step Van Dan is here. Hello, hello, Dan. Hope you're doing well. And up there in Minnesota, he's driving. Danny D posted Roy and Becky. Thank you, Danny, for doing that. Appreciate that very much. There's Roy and Becky, 1 p.m. Eastern, 11 p.m. Pacific. So be sure to stop by and check them out. Okay, so it was a routine yearly checkup. He's good to go. Will be 2 in October and weighs 79 pounds. Wow. Very cool. Everybody's saying hello. So anyway, they're going to pull in here any minute. We'll see. Oki's out there waiting on them. They're going to bring some acid and a water truck, I think, and then dump the acid down that well, and then they're going to agitate it and let it soak for about 24 hours, 18 to 24 hours. That's supposed to take all that calcium out of there, and then come back tomorrow, and then start putting the new pump. Well, flushing out the acid and then putting the new pump and pipe in. So we've been without water now since Friday morning when he came out. So we've been hauling water. We have a 2,000-gallon holding tank, and then we added 500 gallons of water to it because it was low. And now we're down to about 1,600 gallons in there, and then we may have to haul water again tomorrow. All right, Lily's got to take off. Thank you, Lily. And Sandra's, her sister is going to a job interview this morning, so everybody think good thoughts about Sandra. She's working on getting another job, so good luck to Sandra. CR Explainer is here. Hello, hello. Thanks for joining us. We are good. We are good. There's Danny D's channel. So stop by and watch a couple of videos and subscribe to her. She's working on getting up there to that 500 level so she can be monetized. Let me see where she's at. I checked this morning at Danny's channel to make sure I was subscribed. Danny. Danny D. Of course, I can't spell, but anyway, check out Danny D's channel and try to subscribe to her if you can. Looks like I'm picking the wrong Danny D channel. There's a few of them out there. Misha Lee is here. Good morning. Good morning. a fellow veteran, thank you very much for coming in. Hope you're doing well. It's night over there, CR. Where are you at, CR? Yeah, good luck to Sandra. I'm sure she's going to do well. Yeah, post any links that you want. That's fine. Moderators, please do that. Okay, Danny D's at 410. So she's at 410. We need to work on getting her up to 500 so she can be monetized. And YouTube is monetizing at 500 and 3,000 watch hours. So that's a good thing. I always thought the 1,000 was too high. It's hard enough, isn't it, to get to 500? There's Badge's channel. Thank you, Joy. Char says you should have been at 411, Danny. Oh yeah. Yep, she is at 411. That's good. All right, so I hear a big truck. So we're hoping after they do that acid work on the well that we'll be back to. It'd be nice to get back to 1,500 gallons a day. You know, folks that live in town and live in the city, you never have to worry about water, right? Very seldom do you have water outages, but we have a 410-foot hole in the backyard, and that's where our water comes from. And when it doesn't work, then we have to do something about it. So that's what we're doing. All right, what else is going on? So I mentioned we have that water hole in the back there where we keep water for the critters. Let me show you a couple. So, you know, I thought, yeah, I can fence these cows that are showing up. So we have open range land out here, which means that cattle ranchers lease land from the state or the federal government, and they can bring their cows out and graze their cows. So they do that, but they're supposed to have them fenced in. Well, guess what? We ended up with cows at our water hole. So I put up some T-posts and put some wire up, some barbed wire up, and I thought, okay, I got it. And then guess what? The cows just crawled through it and then sucked all the water out of the water hole. So we've been working on it for the last 3 days, 4 days. And now I finally figured out how to keep them out. Here's a little video of them outside the fence, not able to get in now. You see that calf was in there. The mama was outside the fence. She was too big to get in. Let me play it one more time. The calf just hopped right through the two. And so I had to run wire up and down and then put some more T-posts in to close up those gaps. And now that little calf cannot get in there. Let me run it one more time. So, you know, you think that every critter gets water, but those cows can suck up a lot of water. I mean, they'll take 100 gallons a day out of that water hole there. And so you can see how I built it with concrete set down in the ground. And so now the birds can walk into it and then out of it without drowning, falling into the water. So one more time, I'll show you. Look at the concrete where the water is. So they can walk in and out, and so far it's working pretty good. So we're pretty happy about that. All right, back to the chat. Oh, storyteller Donnie is here. That's Joy's husband. Good to see you, Donnie. Another good channel. Thanks to all you veterans in here for your service. And Donnie, thank you. Thank you, brother. Appreciate you being here. Yeah, exactly, Misha. Cows got free water. So I called the rancher. This has been a problem before. One of the neighbors had his phone number. So I called him up and I said, you know, Scott, your cows are here and they're taking water out of our water hole. And can you do something about it? And his answer was, well, if you have water there for them, they're not going to leave, Steve. Take the water away and they'll come home. Okay, Scott. So I went to work. Oki and I put the T-posts in, put the barbed wire up, and then finally got it fenced in. So now the cows are out. So I told him, okay, it's all fenced in now. You got mama cows and you have calves here that have no water. And he said, no problem. They should come home. They live to the north, about probably 4 or 5 miles to the north. And so hopefully they're heading back home. We'll see. Boondocking with Boomer is here. Hello, Lance. Good to see you. I'm doing well. Hope you are too. YouTube's only doing join for members kind of thing. Super chats. Yep. Not revenue until 4K 1,000 subs. Okay. Yeah, we're actually going to upsize, Badge. We're going to upsize. It's got a 3/4 horsepower pump down there. It's set at 320 feet below the surface. So 320 feet. The water level is at 310. So we only have 10 feet of water above the pump. So the pump pumps, that water level drops down to the pump level. It shuts off. It waits 20 minutes. The well water recovers back up and then it pumps it down again. So it just does that all day long. It has a motor saver on it. So what Felipe said is, you've got a well casing down to 410 feet. Why don't we use it? We're at 320. We can go 90 feet down to the bottom if we choose and just set that pump, a foot or so off the bottom and get another 150 gallons of well casing water. So that's what we're going to do. But in order to go deeper in the well, it takes a bigger motor to be able to pump it up out of that hole and into our tanks and then across the road to our friend Karen's tank too. So we're going to go ahead and upsize to a 1 horsepower, put in bigger pipe. The wiring will be extended. We'll drop that pump down. And then with this investment, which is a few $1,000s, we're hoping we'll be good for the next 20 years, maybe more. We'll see. Lance is saying hi to everybody. Donnie's working. Bad Idea Lab is here. Hello. Another great channel. Always fun to watch. Rock Butcher is here. Good morning. Hope you're all doing well. We are well. Except we need more water. More water we need. So we're working on that. Yeah, thanks, Badge. It's working out pretty good. I'm going to put some rocks around the edge of it and mortar those in so I can get 3 or 4 inches on top of that, so we don't get mud washing in there when we get the heavy rains. So that's the idea, anyway. All right, there's Storyteller Donnie's channel. Yeah, they're a rancher, Naj, that has leased property to the north of us, about 4 miles, 4 or 5 miles to the north of us, and they used to be fenced in. But I asked him, "Don't you have fencing?" He said, "Yeah, I have fencing, but they still have access to the area down there." So they're down here stomping all over our neighborhood and our neighbors' places and eating off the trees and eating the cactus, and of course, leaving cow pie gifts everywhere. And he said, if you have water, there's nothing I can do. So I had to take the water away. By the way, Bad Idea Lab is also a channel member, so thanks very much. Appreciate the support. Thanks, Dan. We're happy with it. It's been a tough project, but we needed to save the water, and we hated to fence them out, but that was all we could do. Yeah. And what I didn't think to ask him was, so if you keep your cows here to eat off our trees and drink our water, will you lease that land from us? Because we could use the extra money for the well. But I didn't even think about that. I was just happy he called me back so I could express my concern and tell him what the problem was. And other neighbors have had issues too. So I guess we'll just have to fence in our water and keep the cows out. Okay, so when we do strip mining for placer, we have to slope the banks to the pond so the wildlife can safely walk down and drink. Yeah, I believe that. And out here we have the Silver Bell mine, as you probably know, Rock Butcher, and they do the same. They have water out there, water ponds out there, and I understand there's a lot of bighorn sheep that hang out at the mine around the ponds. All right, so Gracie's got her coffee made, and it's birthday cake time for grandson who turned 19 today. Wow. Happy birthday, grandson. Oh, I drilled a lot of wells, mostly in Africa. Rock Butcher, what's the deepest well you've drilled? Now, around here, when we had our well put in, the well driller said if he could get down to 900 feet, he could guarantee unlimited water for us. Gee whiz, it was $25,000 for him to go to 350 feet, actually 400 feet. It would be much more money than we had to go to 900 feet. So we had enough water at the time to pay for 400 feet. And so we stopped there. But I'm curious, down in Africa, how deep are the wells down there? Happy birthday to your grandson, Gracie. Thanks, Ava. It's working out well so far. And then we put a timer on it so that we put water off a hose bib and put water in it every morning. So we keep it, even if we're not home, that it's, topped off with a little bit of water every day. There's Floss. Hello, Floss. Hope you're doing all right. Floss saying hello. Don't want to take care of my cows. You can water and feed. Yeah, right, Badge? Yeah. We like animals. We like to take care of animals. That's the reason, you put the water out there, especially during the dry time of the summer. We haven't had rain, in 2 months up until yesterday. And so when the rain comes, then the animals are okay. But to have the water there and see them come in and drink is pretty satisfying. Plus, we get to see what kind of animals we have around here. So we have, kit foxes, we have javelina, of course, a lot of javelina, although we haven't seen them recently. I think they've moved on. We have deer, that come in. What else do we have? Of course, birds, things like that. But I keep a game camera out there and then record video. And so once a month or every couple months, I'll post a video with the animals that we have out there. So those are on my channel if you care to see them. All right, so the deepest I've drilled is about 180 meters, so about 400 feet. Okay, that's interesting. Now, when Jason, the well driller, drilled ours, he actually went to 600. So he had the well equipment set up, drilled down, and he hit water initially at about just above 100 feet. And he said that water is only seasonal water. You're not going to have it all the time. And so they put perforations in the casing from 100 to 120 feet. He said you only get that during monsoon season when you have more surface water. He went down, and then he hit water at about, I want to say, 195, somewhere around there, and then didn't have any water much below that until he got down to about 300 feet. He had a little bit more water there. And so down at the bottom there, at the casing, 310 to 320 feet, they did some more perforations where they hit water. And then all of that is clogged up now. So hopefully that acid wash would take care of it. But he ended up going down. So he was at 400 feet. And he said, "You want me to continue?" And so he's got the drill rig set up, and I paid for 350 feet. And I said, 400 feet is all I can afford, Jason. I can't afford any more. He said, "Well, I'm set up. Let me go ahead and keep going." So he kept drilling. He hit 500 feet, no more new water. He continued on, hit 550, no more new water. He hit 600, no more new water. He said, "Well, I'll guarantee if I go to 9, Jason, I have to call it. I don't have the money to go to 900 feet. I can pay you to 400. That's all I have." So Siri is trying to appear. Anyway, we went to 400 feet. He cased it to 410 feet, and that's what we have. So hopefully we can resurrect it and get more out of it, but we'll see. Oh, that was a 14-foot well in the Gobi Desert in Mongolia. Wow, that sounds interesting. 14-inch well, that's a pretty good size casing. Yeah, and it takes time. I think it took them to drill this well. I think they were out here, a couple days to set up, and I think they were drilling 3 or 4 days. I drilled the wells down in Africa. Sing along, guys. There you go. Okay, so 180 meters would be about 600 feet. So that's even deeper yet. So anyway, you can see what our priority is right now, and that is to, got to see if the well on my property works soon. It's something is always in the mind, is you're keeping an eye on that. Oki goes out every morning. She takes meter readings, and then we keep a logbook. And she writes down and watches the output. And we're seeing, like I said, we have logbooks for years, and we're watching that output slowly go down. And we're talking to our neighbors. Everybody's assuming that the water table is going down because we've been in a lot of drought lately. And that's true to a point, because when they drilled the well, the water table was at 93 feet. When they drilled the well in March of 2005, they hit 93 feet. It was a static after they got everything installed. We were at 93 feet water level. Now, when they went down with the camera, we were at 310 feet. So the static water level went from originally 93 feet all the way down to 310. And so definitely a problem. The best part, I did it for free for the towns by pinching the budget and getting the wiggle room to do it for free. That's good. That's got to be a tough situation for them. Hey, Blind Views is here. Good morning. Good morning. Hope you're doing well. Another channel member. So he has some very interesting videos and live streams. I like his live streams on Thursday. He has Blind Views has Thirsty Friday on Thursday, and always a good time. Makes me smile just thinking about it. And then he does some awesome painting. He's a pretty accomplished painter and musician. He does a lot of things. So be sure to check out Blind Views on Thursday night. And if somebody could post a link to Blind Views channel, I would appreciate that, moderators. Step Van Dan is saying hello. Oh my, the blind guy is here. Yeah, good to have you. Good to have you. Trail cam. Oh, okay, powered by solar. It's so new, not on Amazon. Birding channel. Okay, cool. Yeah, my trail cam doesn't have any sound. It does have video, which I enabled recently. It's kind of interesting to see the critters that come by. You know, Dan, we haven't hauled water. We haven't paid to have water hauled, but the local water co-op, Marana Water, has what they call a standpipe. So you can have an account, you can go haul your own water. And so I have a couple of totes that each hold 250 gallons of water, and we go to the standpipe and we pick up 500 gallons at a time. And it cost, the last water bill I had that I just paid was $23, and I think we hauled about 4,000 gallons for $23, but we hauled it ourselves. If you pay somebody, it's probably going to be $250 to $300 for that same amount of water. So much cheaper to do it yourself if you can. Very good. Going to the range and putting some holes in paper. Good for you. Good for you. Second Amendment all the way. With an RC rig, you can drill 180 meters in about an hour. I suppose that's a lot of sand down there. Is that right? Here, when they drilled our well, they went through shelf rock, they called it. 2 layers of shelf rock they drilled through. And so that took some time to get through that. Yeah, it's always a good idea to practice your pew-pews. Casing and gravel packing is what takes the time when you set up a well. Absolutely, yeah. 2 times a month is good. We used to be able to to shoot out here in the monument, and they outlawed it here probably maybe 10 years ago. I used to be able to step out, go down the road a mile and practice, but they outlawed it inside this monument area. So now I can go 4 miles north to the county line into Pinell County and then do some practicing up there. So we do that not 2 times a month. In fact, we're overdue probably. We need to get up there and exercise our equipment. Fairy Dust is here. Good morning, Brene. Good to have you. You need to cement the top 75 feet or so to prevent surface water from coming in, because that'll contaminate it, right? Because anything laying on the surface will get down in the well, and you don't want that. Yeah, I think Naj, if you're most places in Utah have pretty good water. I'm not sure about the southern desert regions, but when you put in a well in, it's pretty stressful when you're committed. Back then it was 25 grand when we had this one put in, and you're watching them drill and you're thinking, what happens if this well comes up dry? And so I asked the well driller, Jason, what happens if it comes up dry? He said, well, I pack up my equipment and I go home, Steve, and then I send you the bill. Even though you come up dry, you still have to pay for that well drilling. And that happened to the west of us, a couple lots to the west of us. They actually did 2 wells and they both came up dry. That property is still not developed yet. I think they still own it. There's 2 dry wells there, and that's pretty stressful experience to go through when you spend all that money and you come up dry. Sum Tin Wong is here. Greetings, greetings. Thank you for coming in. Welcome, welcome. Making me blush. I don't think so. Lonnie's Blush. There's Lonnie's channel right there. So check him out. Great content. He's awesome in how he edits and how he does his live streams. He's got more equipment than anybody else I know. And I think he's probably contributing to global warming because he's got all that equipment in there that's keeping things pretty hot. Awesome painter, yeah. Badge, if you're a member of his channel, which I am, you get to see those paintings before anybody else does. Hint, hint. Can you dump water in our well and use it as a reservoir? Well, the wells out here, until you get to 900 feet, you're basically trying to hit a stream. You're trying to hit an underground stream, and that's what the well driller told us. He said, what we're hoping to do is hit water, and the water flows from the south here, flows from the south to the north. And so he said, we're hoping to hit an underground stream to get you water. And that's what he did. Luckily, he hit that underground stream. And so that's what it takes. So there's not a reservoir down there per se, maybe a little bit around the well casing, and Rock Butcher could probably explain it better than I can. But you have some reservoir there, but it's a lot of rock down there. And so you're basically sucking water out of that stream as it comes by that you've tapped into. And that's kind of how it works here. Sue is here. Hello, Sue. Thank you for joining us. Lucky Dog Productions. does a live stream every weekend, I think on Saturday. Bad idea. A chocolate tomato plant today. Been working 5 hours already. Never heard of a chocolate tomato plant. Okay, so RC is a reverse circulation rig. Okay, so that's what that is. It goes through hard rock like butter, blows the chips up the inside of the rods. They get diverted off into a cyclone and dumped on the ground for sampling. Oh, okay. So I don't know that our rig was a reverse circulation, but it did blow. They put mud down there and I don't know what else, water, and then blew out the rock that they drilled through, and then they were looking at it and giving us information on what it was and what it looked like. Aggregate, I think. I don't remember. It's been too many years ago. So Donnie does, oh, that's right. Bob Ross style paintings on Tuesday live streams. He's still learning, just started without training, but getting better each week. Very cool. I think I saw that. So be sure to check out Donnie's channel there. Now, Lonnie used to do that. Blind Views used to do live painting, and I always enjoyed watching those, but he didn't get the views that he expected, so he quit doing that and then basically just shows us the results of the painting, which is also good. But I always like to watch the techniques of painting, so I'm going to go over and check out Donnie's channel. It takes time to watch those, but I think just putting those on the TV and then watching as the painting comes to life, basically, and then watching the techniques, how do they do the water? How do they do the flowers or the trees? And what, brush do they use? And what paint strokes do they use? I think that's all very fascinating because I can't do it. And so I like to watch others do it. And then you learn a thing or two, right? Naj likes outdoor ranges. The indoor ranges here are expensive. I'll bet they are. And that's all we have is outdoor here. I think they're in town in Tucson. They have some indoor ranges. Never have gone to one of those. Not since the military, which is maybe a day or two ago since I've been in the military ranges. So 14-inch well costs 125 grand, but it produced enough sweet water to supply the township. Okay, very good. And I'll bet it's still pumping well too. Yeah, that's the stress part of it, Naj. Now, we actually walked around. You guys heard of water witching? Where you get two rods and they can be copper or brass rods, and you bend a right angle and you walk around with them, and when they cross like this, then you're over top of water. It's surface water, but surface water is better than no water, right? So we actually walked around our property, and Oki's pretty good at this, and did some water witching, and we found a number of spots, a few spots where we thought, okay, there's water here definitely. It was early in the year, and so we marked those spots, but one of them was right out in front of the house, and so I thought, well, I don't want the well equipment, in the front yard. So we picked the next best spot, which is in the back of the property. We have a wash that runs through there. And when the monsoons come and it rains up there in the mountains behind me, then that watershed comes down that wash and then soaks into the ground. That's where our water comes from. So I painted a rock red and I dropped it on the ground, and the well driller came in and said, okay, where do you want your well? I said, right where that red rock is, right there. So that's where he punched the hole. And it worked out pretty good. Like I said, we got 1,500 gallons a day out of that well at the time that we installed it. Now we're less than 600. So we're trying to do something about it. Made my own 100-yard range here on the 10 acres. Works well for me. I don't like indoor ranges. I don't either. Now, in the military, we had to qualify, right? So we went to indoor ranges. They gave us 25 rounds to practice with, and then they gave us 100 rounds to qualify with. And then, depending on your score, either qualified expert or just plain qualified if you got enough in the paper. Okay, outdoor and indoor ranges, $80 a year. That's not bad. That's very reasonable. And Roy is back. Had to find a different route to camp. The pavers are here spreading rock, and our road is blocked. So Roy and Becky, just a reminder, are coming up here. What time is it? It's 9 o'clock here. So in 2 hours, there's my Costco email. In 2 hours, Roy will be going live with supervision, I think. I think Becky will be there this time. So be sure to stop by and check them out. Roy's got a bunch of new solar he's installing up there. So guys, if you've ever been in Quartzsite, Arizona, it gets hot there. And Roy is there in his Class C rig, spending the summer there. And he's got air conditioning running off solar. So it's pretty cool that you can do that. Always think about snakes for outdoor kitchens because I've seen photos of snakes and grills. Yeah, no thank you. We've had our share of snakes here. We've had a rattlesnake right out the front door, and I did a video on that. It's on my channel. And then we had a glossy snake out the front door too. So we get our share. We get our share. The aquifer in southern Arizona is truly monumental. Yeah, it is. Sure is. So if you get a water tank, how do you get it in the house? So if you get a water tank, how do you get it in the house? I have a booster pump. So we have a booster pump. We have a holding tank badge, 2,000-gallon holding tank. So coming up out of the hole, over to the holding tank, fills up the holding tank, then out of the holding tank to a booster pump, and then pressure tanks, which basically keep the water pressurized, and then into the house and around the yard. So that's how it works. Yeah, tank water is only good for a weekend. That's right. Yeah, it is very peaceful, very relaxing to watch painting in progress. And I always enjoyed Lonnie's, but I'll have to stop over to Donnie's and get my fix there, I guess. The old cistern on the property is full of black water. Scared of what's at the bottom of it. Yeah, you don't want to mess with that. Okay, thank you, Blind Views. Thanks for stopping in. Always appreciate when you have time to pop in, and I'll be over. All right, looks like wow, we're at an hour and 5 minutes. Yep, I witched water, gold, and diamonds in placer deposits. Rock Butcher, are you rich? Just a question. Dad's very good at water witching. He uses willow branches. Okay, yeah, I've heard that too. So we did some testing, right? So, if you have a water pipe in the ground that's full of water, you can take your water witching sticks, willow sticks, or metal, and walk over it to test. And that's what we did. Was when you see them cross, that's when you're over top of water, and that's how we practiced water witching, so that we could be fairly confident that we're going to hit some water, and it worked for us. All right, I'm going to catch up here. Too much metal in my body to use witching rods, I guess. You might have to try the idea that the willow branches, maybe that would work. Has the monsoon rain ever flooded your home? No. In fact, Naj, when the home is built, the county, Pima County, checks the elevation where your home is going to be built, and they'll make you add, soil to get the home up out of the flood area. But ours, we picked a spot that was on the highest part of the property. Now we have had flooded down below on the lower part of the 5 acres, but it doesn't come close to the house. KT says, my uncle owned a gun shop and had an indoor range in the basement. Oh, yeah, I'll bet that was cool. You're welcome, Donnie. I will be over. I think I saw a thumbnail of you painting, but I didn't jump in, and I'll definitely do that. As far as I know, I'm still the top M60 gunner on Oahu. More holes than bullets. Thanks, guys. Beside me. $80 for a day? Wow. Did they give you gold-plated bullets, Naj? All right, Misha, thank you very much. We'll be over at Roy's now. The well guys are supposed to be here anytime. They're not here yet, I guess. So are all the snakes? Yeah, all the snakes are in Moran. I haven't seen any in Quartz Lake. That's because it's too hot up there, Roy. Snakes don't like hot. I've got a few dowsing pendants I'm going to try. Oh, yeah, I have heard that you can douse with pendants too. Very cool. All right, folks, I'm going to pull the plug here. Let me run my outro video. I appreciate everybody coming in today and spending an hour with me. And we will see you next time on Desert Adventures in Arizona. Thank you very much. Have a great Monday and a great week.